Back with another video, folks, where we're going to be taking a look at this image. I posted this on social media. It was received really well. A lot of you liked it, so I thought it'd be a good idea to put together a video tutorial of how to light glass. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So just before we get set up and start shooting in the studio, I just want you guys to know I will be shooting on the Nikon Z50. This is an entry level camera. So if you guys do not have the latest and greatest, you will be able to achieve the same effect with whatever gear you have. So let's get started. If you haven't seen a link to my DIY pantograph ceiling lighting rig, I'll pop a link to a card above and you can go and check that out also. Perfect for the small studio. So the lighting we're using today is the Pixapro City 300 Pro and the Pica 200 Pro. Just two lights, but very effective. So I have the Pica 200. I'm going to be using a standard grid and reflector, but these don't come with any kind of diffusion. So a simple little white shower cap, handy little tip to diffuse your standard reflectors. Just don't use these with your hot lights. Alright, so we're ready to start shooting. I've got everything set up. I've got two lights, got the Pica 200 as the background light in a standard reflector with a grid and slight diffusion over that. We'll say like there, that is the Pixapro 300 Pro in a strip box, but I'm going to kind of diffuse that light in a little bit. You'll be able to see that. What we're going to do first, I want to make sure there's no ambient light going to be affecting the scene. So I'm going to take an image and make sure it's completely dark, and I'll let you know what the settings are. So we'll take a shot without everything on, and I can see there that there's a lot of light still getting in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the shutter speed to max, which is 200, and I'm going to increase the f-stop to around about f13. And that's cut out all of the light there, you cannot see anything there. So we're now working on a complete blank canvas, a black blank canvas. So now what we want to do is introduce the backlight. What you've got to remember is the glass is super reflective, so what it sees, you will see. So whatever that's reflecting, you're going to see that in your image, so you've got to be very mindful of that. So what we want to try and do is not kind of light the glass direct, but try bouncing the light off something else, which then obviously gives the silhouette the shape of the glass, and that's going to allow you to put those gradients on the glass as well. I'll explain that in a moment, but we'll start with the background light so you can see exactly what's going to happen with that. We are 132 power. I think that may be a little bit under. It is, so I'm going to put that up 3 stops. So now sitting at 1/4 power for the backlight. So that's something great there. You can see from that shot there, just the background highlight, how that's affecting it. It's giving it a nice silhouette to the glass, and you can see it lovely. It actually looks quite nice as it is. And take note as well of the dark sides of the glass. Now what that is, okay, that is, all we're doing is lighting this part of the image. But the background here, that's in complete darkness. I wanted the dark edges come down the side of the glass to make it pop a little bit more. So we're lighting that. This is dark, that's dark. So really now all we need to do is introduce this other light. And I'll show you the effects of that as it is and diffused, and then we'll also add another mirror to kind of replicate another light coming from the other side and show you the effects of that on glass. So we'll switch the 300 Pro on. We're at 1/16 power. I'm not too sure how much power I'm going to be needing out of that, so we'll just take a test shot. Notice how I'm not using any kind of meter. That's all right, but I think I might bring this light a little bit further this way, because what I want to try and achieve, is light coming down the front of the glass and get light coming down the back of the glass to give it a bit more of a 3D effect. So we'll take a shot in that position and see how that affects the shot. Now that's better. You can see it's quite hard light, but I'm going to bring it in a little bit further, closer to the glass. Now you could use a larger soft box if you wish, but I'm just using the strip box. I just want them couple of little highlights around the glass. And that's my preferred. I like that. I like the look of that now, but it's quite dark. You can see, well, sorry, it's quite sharp. The edges of that are quite sharp. Now to diffuse that, I use these. You can use bigger ones, but I think these are absolutely ideal in the studio. These are just homemade little diffusion panels made with their foam core and tracing paper. So we'll stick that in front of the light. I might have to increase the power of light because I'm diffusing that, but we'll take a shot and I'll show you exactly how that's affecting the glass. And you can see how it softens those on the glass straight away, and that looks really, really nice. But I think I need to up the power a little bit, so we'll go one more stop. 1/8 power. I'll show you the effects of that. And that there, that's looking nice, that's better. I like the look of that. You've got the rim coming around the edge of the glass, and you've got the two highlights on the glass, which kind of gives it that nice dimension to this, what is a really plain looking object in front of us. But I also want to put another highlight on this side, so I'm going to kind of have 3. 1 at the back, 2 at the front. Easy way to do that is just to grab a mirror. We're going to use a mirror. A little handy tip as well, if you have any little clamps, they're ideal to keep your mirrors standing nice and straight. So we'll use that, pop that in place, making sure it's not in the seam. We'll take a shot, and there you can see from that shot, it just adds another highlight on the side of that. Again, gives it a little bit more that 3-dimensionality. And as you can see from that, that's looking really, really good. Now, oh, my lights just went off. Now, on social media, a couple of people asked if I had actually added the bubbles in post. Well, I didn't actually, just captured that as I was pouring in, which I'll show you. I'll demonstrate that now. And we're able to do that because of the fast flash duration of these flashes. Now, I'm shooting at relatively low power, 1/8 on the 300 Pro, so that's giving us a faster flash duration, which is what's going to freeze the bubbles. And shooting at f13, that's also going to give us our sharpness as well. So I'll demonstrate that now, so you guys can see how that works. And this was a bit tricky the last time because I got it everywhere. So let's see if I can hit the target. And we'll see how that looks. I took a few images there, so let's have a look. Yep, lovely. You can see that one, that's worked really well, and that's just captured all of those bubbles lovely, nice and crisp in that one shot in camera using just 2 lights. Really simple effect, folks. So I really hope you guys are going to be able to get something out of this, especially when you're lighting glass. So just remember that rule of thumb, that what the glass sees, you see. Now obviously I've got the black, I've got the shadows on the side, I've got the highlights in the front, and I've got the light on the background. Light, shadow and highlight. One of the main keys to create a really good image. So if you kind of just keep remembering that all the time, light, shadow and highlight, and try and incorporate that into your imagery, it'll have a bigger impact, and the effect of that on other people will be what the effect was with this shot, which was just really a plain old test shot to see how certain, especially these little diffusion panels, were going to work in this type of situation instead of setting up big scrims and stuff like that, which you can do. But again, it was just a test shot, which was received really well. So I thought it'd be a good idea to share it with you guys, because I thought you'd be able to get a lot out of this type of video, especially shooting glass, because it can be difficult. So, rule of thumb, what the glass sees, you see. Light, shadow and highlight for bigger impact in your images. And just have fun with it, folks. Lots of fun. Nice and simple. Basic entry-level camera. 2 lights. You can actually replicate all this with speed lights. You don't need to use the gear that I have here. If you have speed lights, you will be able to reproduce this same image with whatever gear you have. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've gotten something out of it. And if you have, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos like this when I post them. With that being said, I will see you folks in the next one. See you then.